Okay, next presenter is Andy, VK5AKH. Andy's going to talk to you a little bit about contesting and chasing awards. Andy was first licensed in 2006 as VK5 Fox Alpha Alpha Hotel, and he upgraded to his current call of VK5AKH in 2008. He's a member of the WIA, AREG, the Elizabeth Amateur Radio Club, and he's actually a committee member of AREG as well. Andy's a keen DXer, keen in contesting as well, and he's involved in Project Horace, which is the high altitude ballooning stuff, and fox hunting as well. And he put down here, ham radio is not a hobby, but it's a lifestyle choice for him. So, I'll hand you over to Andy.
No worries, thanks Paul. Yep, Andy 5AKH. That's a somewhat hardcore portable contest station set up at last year's John Moyle Field Day with pan adapter, 400 watts out of the little KPA 500. So contesting, what is it? From Wikipedia, contesting, also known as radio sport, which you'll hear the Americans refer to it a lot as. Individual or team, so club call or a group of hams getting together, seek to contact as many people as possible in a 24-hour period or other time period, and exchange information, so make valid contacts in that period of time. Rules for each contest are different on different bands, and the information exchange is different. Contest rules are sponsored by various organisations, so the WIA sponsor a whole heap of contests, ARRL the same, CQ Magazine run their own, and you generally work each station once per band throughout all the different contests. So, why do we contest? Test your station, see how good things work, put a new antenna up, who can I work, what can we go, be it at home or portable. Improve your operating. It's a good chance to get on air if you're new to the hobby or haven't been on air for a while and you want to work a whole lot of people and know there's people going to be on air. People will be on air. Good chance to operate club call signs. I know AHARS operate 5 BAR in contests, AREG do the same, Elizabeth Club, a lot of clubs, call signs and groups of operators who like operating together, operate in contests, and it's good fun with all the mates. Learn about propagation, particularly on HF contests. It's very good to know. You look at the prediction models and you know that, I believe there is a path from Adelaide to Melbourne on 40 metres at this time of day. There's no one there. During a contest, there's lots of stations on, so you can prove that, it's not magic propagation during a contest, there's just people on the air. Also good for chasing awards, country, slot, zones, graphs. I'll come back to this a bit later on. And most of all, have fun and play radio. Oops. So, a couple of different kinds of contests, and I've broken them up into sort of different categories. You have your HF big gun contests. So the CQ Worldwide, WPX, and they are massive. There'd be a couple of thousand logs, about 10,000 stations active in each of these contests globally, and yeah, lots of big gun stations and lots of money in stations all over the world. AWLGX contest is the same, and CQ RTTY contest is also a very big world contest. That the big gun contests are probably very hard to win as a VK, particularly VK5. So we have a whole series of local contests. So HF locally here, we have the John Moyle Memorial Field Day, which happens in March, and we have the Remembrance Day contest, which a few people have already mentioned. And then in addition to those Australia-based contests, you'll have HF contests based on a region of the world. So we have the Oceania DX contest, Workdoor Europe contest, for example, Scandinavian DX contest, which is good for working Scandinavian guys. And you also have band Pacific or mode specific contests. Example, Trans-Tasman 80 160 metre contests, VHF UHF field days, which was happening yesterday and this morning, which is why there's not too many contesters here. So get up on microwave bands. You'll have EME contests, you'll have 10 metre contests, and when do these happen? Pretty much generally there's always a contest happening somewhere in the world at some point in time. And it's which ones do you choose and go into, and how do you get started? Of course. There we go. Bands generally used for contests, 160 metres, HF, excluding the white bands, VHF, UHF, microwave, up to, and there's a bit of a debate over whether making contacts using CW and light actually does count as ham radio, but people do use light in contest all the way up. Modes used, SSB, FM, phone for voice, digital voice, but I haven't seen much operation of that. People using Morse code, data contests, RTTY contests, PSK, etc., etc. In the contest, we've broken up into different power levels. So you'll have the QRP category, which foundation licensees fall into. So there is a category for you guys. The low power section, barefoot operating. So generally 100 watts or less. So for everyone out there in the shack in the box rig, 100 watt category is what you will fall into. And then there's the high power stations up to 1500 watts globally, because some countries are unlimited, but sadly it's only 400 watts for us here in Australia. Do's and don'ts, to reflect what was mentioned earlier by John and David. Yes, it is a contest and you are out to win and have a good time, but respect other operators, and no one likes writing letters to contest managers. I had to do it the other year, and it's not fun, and people will report you if you are operating badly. So respect other operators on the bands. If people are calling DX, let them call and work DX. Or if someone's calling SOTA, let them call SOTA. They're not interested in the contest, and vice versa. For example, if you're on a contest station, you're not really going to be really keen to be getting nagged by SOTA operators who are trying to make up their 4 contacts. Yeah, let DX stations and other people who are doing specific things do their thing, and vice versa. Don't try and get numbers out of other stations that aren't participating in the contest. There's nothing worse than hearing people hound station JAs on 10 metres asking them for numbers in contests. It's not good, and be polite. Be honest. Don't say you're QRP when you're not. People, be honest about how much power you're running, and so people know that if you are a good signal, as running 5 watts, you are actually that genuine good signal. Don't hijack other people's frequencies. If someone's calling CQ, don't come in over the top and try and grab them and work someone else on that same frequency. Depending on the contest, if it's a VHF, UHF field day, for example, and there's not many stations on the band and you want to work someone, just say the last 2 letters of their call sign and up 25 and move them to the next channel, or up 5 if it's HF and it's relatively quiet. Just so you let the other station know that you're there, you want to work them 5 kilohertz up. Very similar to on 6 metres saying up 5 and bouncing out of people's way. Know the station's call sign before you call, same as the DX code was mentioned earlier. Listen again. And try not to call people if you're not going to give the station a multiplier for a contest, don't hound them and call them, because there are certain contests where you're in Australia, working other Australians doesn't give you any points. So you'll be sitting there working, example, CQ Worldwide contest, sitting there working a pile up on 20 metres, and all these VK3s keep calling you. As an operator, it gets annoying. Obviously, the VKs are going to be stronger, but try not to do that. And of course, follow the rules and operate in the spirit of the contest and amateur radio. Contest exchanges. If you spend any time on air when there is a contest, you'll hear 5-9 and a whole lot of numbers rattling past, and it's like, what do all these mean? Generally, Most signal reports in a contest is 5 and 9. If they come through the pile-up, they are 5 and 9. Particularly when there's a wall of stations coming towards you. The first station you hear, and that pile-up can be, it's not relative to the S-meter strength, so it could be anywhere. So that's 5-9 for the signal report. I do try and give QRP operators an honest signal report. It's a relative signal strength, so relative to, gets a bit hard, but try to give QRP guys an honest signal report, but everybody else is normally armchair copy anywhere in a contest. Most contests have a number exchange, so it'll be a 5-9 signal report and a number sequence that starts from 1. So, example, 59001 will be your first contact, and it will increment up from there. But many other contests are different to that. So, example, the CQ contests, it will be 5-9 and the grid and the CQ zone you're in. For us, it's 30. So you spend 48 hours at the computer at the radio and computer setting everyone 5-9-30. RD contest, for example, is number of years you've been licensed at an amateur. So it does vary from contest to contest, and it is always worth checking with the rules. Now, contest managers. So all contests have someone who's responsible for administering the rules and making sure the scoring goes happy and everyone's happy. Before the contest manager will publish the rules. In the rules, it will be start and finish time in UTC. And they can start at any time of the day. So some start at the start of UTC time. So for us, 9:30, 10 in the morning, and go through. Some run for 24 hours, some run for 48 hours. It varies from contest to contest. Rules will always include the bands of operation. So what bands for that specific contest you're allowed to operate from. So. So, your first contest. You'll hear people on the air. Contests I recommend people get involved in. John Moyle Field Day is an excellent one. It's very easily accessible for Australians to get involved in, and the Remembrance Day contest as well. If getting started, concentrate on one band. Walk before you can run. Concentrate on one band. Choose a band. Example, 40 metres. Enter that single band category. Only have one transceiver set up. Don't have multiple radios and get confused. Use resonant antennas, and have a UTC clock in the shack, and enter a category you can. Exit QRP 6 hours, and away you go. And you'll be logging contacts throughout the contest. So, example log. You'll have your UTC time, what band it was on, call sign the station you worked, exchange out, exchange in, and some notes. So, first example, we've worked 5 ARG, got exchanges backwards and forwards, and Matt was the operator. Next one down, second contact incremented to 59002 and worked David, who was QRP in VK3. Couple of different operating modes, search and pounce. So you will, and most entry-level stations will operate search and pounce. So you'll scan the band, listen for stations, get their call sign, and you reply with your call sign once and wait for them to come back to you. And they will respond with your call sign, a signal report, and you just send them a call sign. You don't have to send a call sign again, they've already got it correct. Just your signal report in 7.3, and short and sharp, shiny, and exact and short to the point. Most people just include their name as well. And if you're calling CQ, call CQ, your CQ contest, and send your call sign 2 times. You want to call CQ, you want to send your call sign more than the contest. Everyone knows it's a contest, but keep your, they need to know your call sign before they will call you. And keep the CQ calls short, small pauses, and frequent. If you're putting in a really long 30-second call, big gun stations will just spin straight past you. Move on. All stations in the contest are encouraged to submit a log, and even if you want to make a few contacts, you may win your category. Going forward, After each contest, just make notes about what you've done, incremental changes each time. So example, I remember when I first started, I was happy to make 20 contacts in the UHF field day. Next time I went out, I was happy to make 30 and 40, and just make incremental improvements and just take it easy. For more info, most of the VK contests I've mentioned are on the WIA website, wia.org.au/contests, and all the rules are there. So, I won't have time for awards, but cool. Thanks, Mark.
Good on you, Andy. I know all these topics are rushed through, but we just wanted to give you a really quick snapshot of some of these things, and then if it tickles your fancy, you can go off later on and research a little bit more. Okay.